rookie push-up for this exercise. So rather than doing your push-up from your feet, we're just going to do it from our knees. Now, very important with this one, you've got to maintain a straight line from your shoulder to your knee. Where people go wrong with this one is they lift their bum and it takes away the core engagement. So we want to make sure that we're not doing that. Because you're on your knees and it's a fairly easy push-up, let's try and make it nice and deep. Let's go down all the way and come straight back up. Your turn to try this one. Torso and knee drop for this one. So you can see I'm starting in a tabletop and then I'm rolling from side to side. Now I'm allowing my arms to support me. It's hitting the floor. I'm rolling right over until my hands touch each other and my knees are on the floor, and then I'm rolling back to the other side. Your turn to try this one. Hindu push-up for this exercise. So feet and hands at shoulder width, raised right up to start with, and then it's a dipping push-up. So you're going to dip all the way down and work your way back to the top again. Your turn to try this one. Basic hips raise for this exercise. So you can see I've got my feet at shoulder width and I'm lifting all the way up to a point where I'm going past straight line from my knee to my shoulder. Now you can see my hands are on the floor for support as well, so you're welcome to do that too. Your turn to try this one. For this segment, let's everybody grab our bow bar resistance kit and let's connect to a secure low anchor point. Shoulder presses for this exercise. What we want to do is we want to hold the bow bar in its wide zone, and you want to make sure you're just bringing the arrow down to your chest and pushing straight up. You want to make sure your elbows are out and you're holding a lunge stance for this one. Your turn. Working some basic biceps curls from a narrow zone position. So what we want to do with this one is just make sure your elbows are stationary and they're in front of you, and the whole movement is coming from your elbows to your hand, which basically means your forearms and your biceps doing all the work. You can see we've got a nice sturdy base as well. So using a front stance or a lunge stance is going to keep you nice and heavy. Your turn to try this one. Overhead triceps extensions for this exercise, guys. Now you want to make sure your elbows are by your ears and you're holding the narrow zone in your bow. So you want to make sure you're pushing straight up without any movement in your elbows. Your turn. working some T rows for this exercise. So you want to make sure you're holding the wide zone as far as your hand position on the bow is concerned. And you want to make sure you pull back with your elbows nice and high. You want to have them at roughly shoulder height. Extend all the way. So let's do full range movement. So you want to push all the way back into a T and then release until you've got soft straight arms. You can see we're using a lunge stance to keep a nice sturdy lower body. Your turn. Alright, we're going to work some mid-grip presses for this exercise, guys. So what we've got to do is we've got to hold the mid-zone of the bow bar. And you want to make sure your elbows are tucked in by your ribs and you're pushing straight. Now, your stance is a front stance or a lunge stance so that you've got a nice heavy base and you can just pump them out. Your turn. basic lying biceps curls for this exercise. So you want to make sure your elbows are glued to your ribs and they're staying stationary the whole time. So you can see my elbows are not moving. I've lifted my head to support my back, and I've got my knees bent as well. Now, you don't want to have your knees bent too much because you want to make sure you're leaving enough range of movement for your biceps curls, but keep them bent in order to support your back. Let's get you to try this exercise. Lying front delts raise for this exercise. Now, I'm doing this one from a wide zone, which is the wide part of the bow, but if you prefer to do it from a narrow zone, then that's okay as well. You can see my arms are soft straight and it's full range of movement. Head's rested and my knees are bent. Your turn to try this one. this segment of the program is all about high intensity 30-second intervals. We'll pick up 2 exercises and train 3 lots of 30 seconds, alternating between exercises for a total of 3 minutes per set. Let's get straight into it. Starting this exercise with some rookie push-ups. So you can see I'm doing the push-ups from my knees, but I'm going quite deep and I'm just making sure I'm maintaining that straight line from my shoulder all the way to my knee, so I've got my core active throughout these push-ups. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get up and get into some twist hops. So just hopping and twisting from side to side. Use your hips on this one. Fellas, there's really no way of making this exercise look masculine, so just do what you can to get through until we get back into the push-ups. Your turn to try this one. Starting this combination with some hanging abs tucks. Now, if you've got any restrictions as far as equipment or physical restrictions is concerned, you can always do these tucks lying on the floor instead of hanging. What we'll do to complement it is we're going to get into some jumping jacks straight after. So again, fairly light on your toes as far as jumping jacks are concerned, and just keep the pace up throughout the set. Your turn. For this set, we're going to combine Hindu push-ups with some plyometric squats. So we're going to start off hands and feet at shoulder width, and then we're going to work some nice deep Hindu push-ups. And then after 30 seconds, we're going to change it up. We're going to jump up and we're going to work some plyometric squats. So make sure you jump straight up. And as you land, we're going to keep working our way back down so that we're keeping the pressure off the knees. And any point of stopping this exercise should be at the bottom of the squat and nowhere else. Well done for getting through your workout today, guys. Let's take a moment to stretch and cool our body back down now. Comment and let us know what you thought of today's workout, and remember to hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with all the latest workouts.